Hey, guess what? It's mystery box time. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney. It is time for another round of the DIY Mystery Box Challenge. This is the quick 101. So for this challenge, a group of YouTubers get together. We send each other boxes. This time it was an anything goes box, which means we could purchase or get stuff from our stash, anything like that. We also have to include 2 wrapped challenge items that are going to be tricky to DIY with. For this month, we actually have 2 twists. One of them was the idea of Bargain Bethany, and she said, why don't you try to work in a plastic or paper grocery sack? And then the other twist is one of the DIYs, we can't use any glue. So I sent my box to Jamie over at the Crafty DIY Guy, and I got my box from Jasmine from DIY by Jazz. So let's open this box and see what I got. All right, got a little card. Love the cards. I always save all these. I have a bulletin board full of these cards. It says, hi Courtney, thanks for inviting me to this mystery box challenge. Have fun with your challenge items. Can't wait to see what you do. Jazz. Let's see what she said. Okay, I'm not scared. First thing on top is a green garland. So there we go, nice green garland. Oh, cute. Yes, a cutting board. I actually picked up some of these from Hobby Lobby. Haven't made a DIY with them yet, but I'm excited to do something. This is awesome. Some home wooden signs. Got some nautical rope. That'll come in handy for the DIY that I can't use any glue on. A metal home sign. I've never seen this at Dollar Tree. That's cute. All right. So, oh, a kind of a bronze colored, copper colored metal plaque. A wood plank. And then a, oh, these are so cute. She's got a good Dollar Tree. Another welcome sign here. And then, what is this? Oh, it is a tote bag. All right, okay. All right, I'm feeling good, Jazz. I'm feeling good. Oh, sorry. So now we're down to the 2 challenge items. She seemed a little excited about her box, so I don't know if that's good or bad for me. I don't know. All right, challenge item. Oh, we'll start with challenge item number 1. Oh gosh, I think I know what this is. Okay, paper plates. I can honestly say I don't think anyone has gotten paper plates on one of these mystery boxes. All right, okay. Paper plates, I can do that. And then challenge item 2. Oh, Jazz. Okay. It is the bottom of a broom, everybody. Wow. Holy cow. Okay. All right, I'm gonna think on these for a couple days, which will be like no time, your time, and come back and let's get some DIYs going. For this DIY, I'll be working with the bronze colored metal plaque, along with the 2-pack of the wooden words that say home. To start, I'm gonna do a little bit of surgery on the word home using my hobby knife. And on one of the words, I'm going to cut off the H and the E. On the second one, I'm gonna cut off the H-O and the E so that I have an M left. And just a side note, you could save that H-O-ho and save those for Christmas if you wanted to, but I guess you can probably put 2 and 2 together now that I've saved an M, an O, and an M. I grabbed my little HP sprocket. Now, I've had this thing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. I have no idea. Just a really long time. It's just a little portable printer. I know there's many variations, and I will link everything in today's video down below in the description box. If you have any questions about a thing, you can always ask me in the comments. But I found 3 pictures of my kiddos and printed them all out. Now I need to work on the rest of the sign. So taking that wooden M and the wooden OM, I hot glued those 2 pieces together and then took some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color ivory, painted that word mom with that, along with a couple of the teeny tiny itty bitty little baby clothespins. It's time to get this all assembled. So you want to grab the word mom and those clothespins. Those will get hot glued down to this metal plaque. Now on the top two holes, I took some twine and tied that in there to make a hanger. The bottom two holes, I didn't want to leave them wholly, so I just made some tiny little tassels out of that same twine and put those on there. And now I've got this really cute little sign that I can hang up in my office. For this DIY, I will be working with the mini wood cutting board and also tackling one of the twists, which was do not use any glue in this project. To start off, I applied a stencil that I just cut on my Cricut machine. I found it in Cricut Design Space, and I purchased this product called Torch Paste a while back. I've been dying to use it, and normally when I do wood burning, I use a scorch marker, but y'all, this stuff is like the best stuff ever. Like, this isn't sponsored. I am in love with it. So what you do is you take a little squeegee and you put it all over your design and wipe off any of the excess, let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, then peel off your stencil and start to wood burn. Now what I did realize was I originally grabbed my small heat gun and I was, buzzing it around thinking, okay, this isn't working. Why is this not working? This is so disappointing. And then I realized like I needed to get the big gun, like literally my big heat gun. And once I used that, I'm telling you, I absolutely loved how it turned out. For this DIY, I'll be working with this black home metal sign and the greenery that Jasmine sent me. To start, I peeled off the plastic coating off the metal sign, and I took the greenery and broke it down. Then using hot glue, I hot glued that all around the black kind of garlandy part of the metal sign until it got covered up and filled in. Once the outer portion of the wreath was all covered, I grabbed some florals from Dollar Tree, and I also broke these down. I essentially just kind of took them apart and reassembled them so that they would be a little more sturdy. And then for the center of each of these flowers, I took some of their Dollar Tree's little orange pick ball thing, berries, I guess that's what they're called, berries that I had in my stash, and put those in the center of the flowers and added that to the bottom of the wreath, and then added just a small little twine hanger, and this was ready to go. Using more items out of the box, this DIY will be using the tote bag along with the nautical rope. Now, this is a very simple DIY, and all I did was press the tote bag and I applied this image using sublimation. Now, if you don't have the tools to do that, what I would recommend is getting the transfer iron-on paper. I will link my favorite brand down below. You can use a regular printer for it. This image will be linked down below, so you can print out this image and then you just iron on the image. But if you do have sublimation or are interested about it, I've got a whole video about it that you can check out. I'll link that down below. Once the image was on my bag, I was ready to just go ahead and start stuffing it. I just used pillow fluff from old pillows to stuff it, and I stuffed it to almost full, and then took some fabric hot glue and started to glue the bottom seam together, leaving a hole to go ahead and finish stuffing the pillow. To finish trimming off the pillow, I'm going to add that nautical rope using the fabric hot glue from Surebonder. Now on the bottom of the pillow, I pressed it kind of just where I had made, I guess where I closed up the pillow. But on the other 3 sides, when I pressed the pillow, it left a crease. And so that's where I ran my little bead of the hot glue, and it worked great. Now, if you've never worked with this fabric hot glue before, it's actually machine washable. You just can't do it in the dryer. So you actually could use this if you needed to quickly hem some pants, or I don't know, do something really quickly instead of sewing. Just don't put it in the dryer, because as you can know, the hot will make it melt, and then you'll have a whole disaster in your dryer. For this DIY, I'll be using one of the challenge items, the pack of paper plates, and this metal welcome sign. To start, you want to take 3 of the plates and cut the flat circle portion out of the plates, leaving the rims. Set those aside because we will be using those in the next DIY with another challenge item. Once you get these cut, we're going to start building a fun shape. What you see here are some of the rims from the paper plates, and what we want to do is one of them you're just going to leave as is. The other 2 you essentially are cutting to make it look like the letter C. And the shape we are making is a pumpkin. So you want to take that one that's a whole circle and glue it together. Then take your 2 C's and glue those to either side. Once that is all glued, you want to paint it. So you could paint it orange if you wanted to. I opted to just take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color ivory, and I ended up painting 3 coats on top of my pumpkin. You will want to grab some scrapbook paper. This is some paper I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I had an extra plate to use as my guide because the open part of our pumpkin we're going to fill in with scrapbook paper. Now, I took a pencil, I tried to trace, and I'm like, okay, I'll just trace this circle real easy. Well, yeah, just wait. Yeah, it's a real winner of a circle there. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to wing this. So that's essentially what I did. I kind of winged how much I needed to cut. And once I got the amount cut, I just hot glued it directly to the back of the pumpkin. To rein this in and make it look a little more like a pumpkin, I grabbed some brown wax and my fan brush and brushed that all along the paper plate rims, and then took some tumbling tower blocks that I had already stained with some brown wax as well, and created a stem to attach to my pumpkin. Now you want to grab some burlap ribbon. I grabbed a dark brown, this is from Dollar Tree, that I had in my stash, and cut that in half, along with a light colored burlap ribbon and a piece of twine, tied them together and hot glued that to the stem. Then grab some Dollar Tree florals that I had on hand and attach those to the top of the pumpkin. The last step is going to be to add a hanger. I just used the other half of that light colored burlap to make a hanger. And the finishing touch is just to hot glue that metal welcome sign to the middle of the pumpkin, and then this is ready to be displayed. Now this DIY is going to have a lot going on. I'll be using the last item in my box, which is this wooden plaque, the other challenge item, which is the broom. I'll be using the other part of the paper plates, which is also a challenge item, and the twist. So I kind of crammed it all into this one DIY. To start, I'm going to take this wooden piece and paint it with some brown paint. Once this piece was dry, I grabbed some Mod Podge and put it on there, and here is where I'm going to work in that second twist, which was to use a grocery sack in a DIY. So once I get the Mod Podge down, I'm going to start putting the grocery sack down to kind of make it crinkly, wrinkly. I didn't want it smooth. I'm just trying to get kind of a textured look with the grocery sack. Once the grocery sack was all down, I went over it with a good coat of Mod Podge. Once this was all dry, you want to paint it with that same brown paint. Now, if you want to make a Christmas version of this, you're going to go white. You want to use white in this step. And then we want to grab the inside of the paper plates that we cut that I told you to put aside, that challenge item. And what I did is I put them on my Cricut mat, found some images, and cut out some little black haunted houses. Again, if you want to do a Christmas version, you want to cut out some white houses, probably not haunted white houses, but you want to cut out white. Now to get these attached, I'm just going to use a bead of hot glue, and then I'm going to go in with some of the Dollar Tree moss and help reinforce the houses to make them stand up by gluing that to the front and the back of the house, and then also kind of scattered around on the ground. And now I need to work in that second challenge item, the broom. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do two different things with it. I'm going to make first 2 trees, and to do that I just cut off a bunch of the bristles, and they kind of, you could kind of rub them and get them kind of frayed. So all I did was kind of get them roughed up, and then took some twine and wrapped it at the base of the tree and kind of wrapped it up like a vine growing up using hot glue. And then I hot glued those directly to the base of my haunted houses and put a little bit more moss at the bottom and just kind of spread out the little bristles. You can kind of bend them and make them look spooky dooky. And I got those trees attached. And then I also made a little mini witch's broom to lean up against one of the houses. So as you saw, I also added some jack-o'-lanterns and a little bat to the tree. Those were just little picks from Dollar Tree. And then my finishing touch here was I took the handles off that canvas bag that I used for the pumpkin pillow and cut a little ghost shape, and took one of the stakes and kind of glued the, well, I didn't kind of, I actually did glue the ghost to the little toothpick stake thing and put 2 ghosts kind of floating above the houses. And then this little Halloween display was ready to go. And there you have it, another round of the DIY Mystery Box Challenge. I am so excited that I used every item in my box. Let me know which one of these DIYs was your favorite. Also, let me know what would you have done with those challenge items, that broom and that pack of paper plates. I always love to read your comments. Don't forget to check out the playlist down below in the description box. It will take you through all the mystery box videos in order so that it makes sense and it's easy for you to follow. Here are some more videos that you might enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!